All right, this is the last 10 lines, 21 through 30 of Amores 1.12. Ovid has had a rough time as late. So he wrote a love note to Corinna and he told her to come on over. And we don't know what she wrote back, but she is not coming over. And so, in a really, really human moment, Ovid is deflecting the blame, and he doesn't really act introspectively. He blames everything else. He blames the wood that the tabella was made from. He blamed the wax, all of this kind of thing. So he's kind of looking at this more broadly at the tabella as a whole, but still deflecting the blame. He's not taking the rejection well. And so here in 21, he says, did I, insane, so he is being a little introspective here, did I, insane, commit, entrust our love? Now, I mean, this is normally like my love, and that's that royal plural here. But I actually kind of like the idea that he was looking forward a little proleptically and thinking, our mutual love. Did I, insane, here, masculine singular nominative to agree with the I here, ego commisi, did I, insane, entrust our love to these? And we assume the tabellis from above. And did I give, now molia and verba and ferenda all go together. Ferenda here is a gerundive, or probably what's more accurately described as a future passive participle, purely something that looks ahead in the future, but is passive. So did I give literally soft words, maybe soothing words, and then here to be brought. So again, did I in the past give these things so that in the future they would be brought, right? So did I give these words, these soft words, to be brought to the mistress? And we assume, like, did I give these words to these things, these tabellis again? Was I nuts to do this? I should say too that we could maybe say, did I insanely? Usually when we want to take this adjective more adverbially, it's right next to the verb, which is why I didn't originally translate it that way. But I think you'd see some translations that way, that the sort of verbal part of this adjective has been attracted from the verb. Speaking of adverbs here, we've got the comparative, right? More suitably, these, and so we would think tabelli here, and we're right, except for here he uses charae, so a little bit of probably a synecdoche here, right? A part for the whole, but these wax tablets suitably. Now this isn't copiunt, it's copiants, present subjunctive, so we can't just say and here hold is probably the best translation, but literally take or receive. But probably like would hold, okay? So more suitably, these wax tablets would hold the chatty, garrulous, wordy, verbose, and then what ammonia are like recognizances or bonds, legal documents. So these aren't the right things for love poetry. But we have this potential subjunctive here, that they would hold more suitably these legal documents, which these charae, these tablets, which some cognitor, right, some lawyer with his harsh tongue, his harsh mouth, would read. There's a couple things here. One is that this is accusative, because it's the object of legat, but it's also feminine plural because it's the charae is the antecedent. Grammatically, that's correct. Probably what the real antecedent is the legal documents, right? So these things would more suitably hold legal documents, which some lawyer would read, is basically what he's saying here. But it's worth noting that grammatically, charae is the antecedent. The other part of this is a really kind of nice thing here, right? Remember he said, did I give my soft words? And here the play is with his harsh mouth. So that molia and duro acting as antithesis. Really nice there. And then we have the interlocking word order. to highlight the sort of verbose, highfalutin nature of a lawyer's language. Um, Among, and then we have a couple other words here, ephemeris, or really epimeridos, so that ph is usually in classical Latin is pronounced like as a p sound, and these are like account books, and then we have another comparative adverb. So among account books, and then uh, tables, right? Tabulas, maybe like ledgers. They're somewhat synonymous words here. And then better, and then they might lie. So more of these potential subjunctives here. So they might lie better, they might better lie among daily account books and ledgers, in which a greedy man might weep over, so in which a greedy man might weep over spent wealth, his spent wealth. Therefore, I sensed that you, and because we have a head verb here, we're missing essay, the infinitive here in the indirect statement. Therefore, I sensed, I felt that you were duplicates, that you were twofold. And so this is in the negative, that pejorative connotation of like double crossing or two-faced. Now I'm saying you were. We need essay here. Essay is the present infinitive. But remember that when we start in the perfect tense, then the present infinitive tells us that we stay there. So I felt that you were duplicitous. Now, pronomen is like in name, and then rebus here is an ablative of maybe respect, I guess, and this would be indeed. So I felt that you were duplicitous in deeds, in your deeds, and in your name, I think is the best way to probably render these two ideas, even though we don't have an and in there. The number itself was not literally of a good auspice, was not of a good omen. So like what's this called, a genitive of characteristic. And Ovid's using this grammatical construction, or maybe a genitive of description, that's I think what your book says. But Ovid's using this instead of maybe just a good old predicate nominative. It's the same thing. So the number of the auspices wasn't good. So it just, this has just been bad from the beginning. So he says, well, what should I pray for? And this is, we would call a deliberative subjunctive. He's asking a rhetorical question. What should I pray for? And then iratus, angry. Now remember back up here my comment about insanus, insane, or maybe insanely. Well, here we have that same idea. So angrily, what should I angrily pray for? Right? This is an adjective, but it becomes an adverb because it's right next to the verb. Except that something, right? Except that we got you, we have kariosa senectus. So we have like dear old age, kariosa, like rotten old age would rodot, would sort of like gnaw at you. So what should I angrily pray for, if not or except that decayed old age would eat you up, would gnaw at you, and that your wax be white with immundo situ, with unclean or foul, and then situ here, probably like mold or something, rot. So he's pretty mad at those tabellas, which is a lot easier than maybe being mad at himself.